can't see in the dark, you need infrared radio.
Alright, so you think you're ready? Okay, then you say this with me, go. We were born for this. Alright, so you think you're ready? Okay, then you say this with me, go. We were born for this. We were born for this. We were born for this.
And we are here for a special Monday edition of Infrared Radio here on the PGP Radio Network. I am G, that is Deb, and hola.
No, ¿cómo está?
Hola. Let me turn our little pretty faces on. Oh, good God. I just did that on camera. I just really did that. You'll have to watch the video and you'll be like, what the hell are you doing? Doofus!
And like me, I knew you had it in you.
I got it in me. So,
Yeah, we didn't do our normal Saturday night thing because we had shit to do.
Right?
So
We had other things that we had to take care of. Well, of course, it was Easter weekend, and, well, didn't do much on Easter at all, but because, well, I'm in Georgia and my family in Indiana, except for, my wife, but we just kind of hung out all day and just kind of chilled with each other. It's really pretty nice. Had a good time, actually.
And my kids and grandkids are spread out all over the country. I've got some in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and I've got some in Tampa, Florida, Clearwater. I've got them in Atlanta, Georgia. So, real quiet and kind of sad, but kind of nice. I didn't have to even get dressed all day long. It was awesome. I just laid in bed and watched King of Kings and about like 40 times. That's one of my favorite movies.
I got been watching Spartacus, Blood and Sand from, it was on Stars, I guess, about a couple of years ago. And, that was pretty decent. I don't know how any of that is as far as accuracy, but I like periods just like that.
Yeah. I did miss my kids, though. I mean, when you get to be a certain age, life starts to change, and the hardest thing that you'll ever do as a parent is to let them go.
Yeah.
And it's when they put a couple thousand miles between you, you don't really have much of a choice. So that's different, but you make it work. Like I said, I enjoyed my day laying around in my pajamas, watching TV, and just eating what I wanted when I wanted.
Right? Yeah,
So,
like I said, we didn't do diddly. We just kind of hung out and spent the day together and made phone calls late in the afternoon, Skype calls and stuff like that. But,
yeah. I surfed around on the internet a little bit, hung out on Facebook, and did some reading, found some interesting stuff that we'll talk about later. And,
porn.
no, it wasn't porn. Fool.
You was looking at porn. You ain't lying. You was looking at porn.
Porn. You know what?
What?
Porn today is different than porn in my day.
Oh,
porn
good God.
In my day, I'm just saying. No, it was gross then, too, but it wasn't as gross. Shut up. It was more psychological, too. You know what I mean?
No,
the movies actually had some kind of a theme to them, even though they did have really cheesy music. That's hasn't changed.
Wow.
But
so okay. Let's break this down a little bit. Porn back in the day versus porn now. Now I'll give you. Now I'm not no spring chicken, so I can remember some porn back in the day. With all the hair and all of the hairy guys and the very hairy women, and I remember the cheap. I remember the cheap stripper pole music going on,
down fast,
right? And I remember, and there's really, because people are just stupid when it comes to porn evolvement, as far as what they do now versus what you would ever saw back in, say, for me, the mid to late 80s and on, and how that progression has gotten so much more graphic and so much more dirty.
Yeah.
Than, say, you were to watch a stag film that somebody made in the 50s. I've seen those.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even compare.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm thinking of the old 8mm films that the dudes watched in the back room. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's to me what porn was.
Yeah.
This stuff today is just like gross.
Right?
It's not a turn on to me like the old stuff was. You had to think more. More stuff went on in your head. You know what I mean? So, shut up. That's it. I'm done. We're not talking about porn anymore. I'm a grandmother. I'm done.
Oh my God.
How the hell did that even start?
Well, because we're talking about the progression of that.
Yeah.
And okay, on a paranormal ufology tip, how have the stories of UFOs and abductions and even ghosts and from the poltergeist to basic haunts to malevolent haunts, I mean, the stories then, how do you think they rate throughout the time, say from, let's just go from the 70s, since that's a common ground for you and I.
Yeah.
Okay. I got this, hold on, I gotta move my mic, it's right in my face and right in the camera. So, progression of stories, and I wouldn't, and honestly, I wouldn't even begin to know. And if you guys have stories from way back in the day, from 70s, early 80s, versus stories that you have now, send it to staffnpr@gmail.com and wpgpradio@gmail.com, because I would really like to know. I mean, has it progressed like porn? I mean, has the stories gone from one stage of where you, like you said, a subliminal turn on to a full-on graphic, nasty turn on? Is that the same thing that with paranormal stories? I mean, has the stories over the years progressed so bad that and you can vouch for it, I mean, everything's a demon. Everything's nasty in our house. It's so bad. When actually, I mean, how do you know?
Well, you know what? I think some of that started up when you started seeing it on cable TV. Ghost hunters first became wildly popular. People started watching it, and then all of a sudden everybody was talking about it and always talking about their ghost stories. Back in the 70s, people didn't talk too much about it because most of the time when they did, people looked at you like, okay, People are more accepting now. I'll give you that much. And like back when I first reported my UFO experiences, that first came out public, back in the early 80s, late 70s, people didn't talk about this. Good Lord, I was embarrassed to even talk about it to the researchers because it sounded crazy to me. And hell, now you can go into Walmart and you can buy any number of T-shirts or lunch boxes or whatever with alien heads all over it, and it's all cool. Right. And everybody wants to be abducted, and everybody's, groups of people stand out on the beaches and out in the fields and the mountains and try to call them in. I'm like, what the actual are you people trying to do? I mean, that's something I don't get. While I embrace what happened to me in that it created who I am today, you know what I mean, to go through it. Right. I didn't ask for it. I didn't look for it. I didn't seek it out. I just happened to be either in the wrong place at the right time or the right place at the right time, depending on your point of view. Yeah. It just happened. Or, born into the right family. I don't know. So, but today people think it's borderline on cool. Yeah. And it's really not cool.
Right.
So,
well, it goes back to the old adage, it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
Yeah, or with sugar daddies, it's all fun and games until daddy wants some sugar.
Right.
but I think the experiences change and evolve as individuals. Mm-hmm. it depends on where you are in the process. If this is just happening or coming up like I was in the 70s, I read a lot of people that are just coming to the realization that something's going on. Where I was, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to my age and you progress 25, 30 years from that point. Things do change. Your experiences change. You're different. My experiences now are much less physical and much more psychological and even spiritual. But it's all connected to it, And as far as the ghostly stuffs and the haunts, like you said, I think more and more people are just so quick to say, "Oh, we got demons in our house." Probably not, because you probably wouldn't be able to say that if you did, really, because you wouldn't be able to talk because you'd be so freaked out.
Right, you would be so scared to death that
I think they got they're getting. And they get some wrong ideas from some of these guys that show up on TV, because I don't know where the hell some of these guys.
I've got to say that one thing about, like you had mentioned, Ghost Hunters, one thing about them, I've never seen an episode where they've acted like it was something so malevolent that they would classify it in that category.
No, I think, truthfully, I know a lot of paranormal groups that just turn their nose up and at them, but I personally think that TAPS did a pretty good job, especially in the first few seasons. I think they were a good representation of the paranormal investigator. I do. Many that came after them, I don't know how the hell them people even got shows. Right. To be honest with you, but
and that's what I'll boil down to. It's just shows, but
because and a lot of it's clearly entertainment geared.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think the only time I ever saw them run was when that Arnois kid had whatever it was jump out of the cell at him, and he shat himself and ran away from it. You know what I mean? That's really the only time. But I agree. But the first 3 seasons of Ghost Hunters, I really got behind because they did more residential stuff. And then afterwards, I think the production company decided, well, let's go do some big name places because they're big name places, and they kind of lost. The production company made them lose focus on their mission. And I think.
Well, I'll tell you, I know, having worked with television and things like that, they will often. They are going for the biggest bang for their buck,
Right.
And drama sells. They embellish things, I think, to make it look more scary and get people on the edge of their seat. Because you and I both know, good Lord, how many times have we been on investigations where we have sat for hours and hours and hours, and the only thing that got scared was my hips because I ate a whole box of donuts,
That wasn't your hips that was scared. That was the air pushing out of your butt.
Hours.
Did you hear that? No, it was just dead dropping ass.
Shit that nothing happens. And you walk through and people are saying, well, this and this and this, and you're able to debunk everything in like a half an hour and show them what it actually is. And then you sit there all night long and you can't hardly stay awake. And then you got to go home and listen to 16 hours of audio tape. And then you want to pass out again. It's not glamorous, and you got to make a show out of that. So, I think they finally got to it, figured out they need to tricksy this shit up a little bit. Yeah. And that's when it started getting kind of spoiled, I think.
Well, I'm sorry, you don't have real time. Let me rephrase that. You don't always have real time evidence or real-time events that happen. Or
no, you don't know it until the next day when you're reviewing stuff, and then you're like, ah!
And I'm still, I've heard voices myself, and I know you have too. We've heard them on the show. You and I have investigated quite a bit together. We know, something's odd about the room, and we'll stay in there. But doors close on us or whatever. But 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, we don't know what the hell is going on, what is going on. I mean, you're there from, say, for a 6-hour investigation from 9 to 3 in the morning. You know, you could go from 9 to 2:45 and have absolutely nothing, and then things will start getting sketchy when you're, okay, well, let's get ready to start wrapping up, and it'll start tripping off.
Right.
But, yeah, and the bottom line, like you said, I mean, they're TV shows, and that's what they've got to do, and
now, see, you and me need to get a TV show.
Right.
I mean, really.
You know what? I don't know.
It would do great.
I think it would be a show better, definitely on cable.
Yeah.
Where the censors will be a little less softer with the reins when it comes to what comes out of our mouths. I'm just saying.
I try to behave, but
Seriously?
know.
Seriously? No.
Shut up. Whatever.
We have borrowed the same voice box. I mean, there's just no getting around that.
I think we were like brother and sister in another life or something. Just seriously.
Right.
Or somehow, are you Irish? I'm Irish.
I have some Irish.
Yeah.
Not up in me, but I have some Irish.
You are stupid. Shut up.
See what I mean about the show?
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. Yeah, we need to do like satellite or cable or something. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's why we're doing video right now.
That's why we're on YouTube.
Right. But,
hey, that dude, one of my favorite guys on YouTube is that Steve Steve somebody. He does the lawnmower dude, Steve the Lawnmower Man or whatever. He's funny as hell. Look him up, you guys.
Steve the Lawnmower Man? That's funny.
Yeah, he says, he ends his show with, I got shit to do.
Oh, yeah, you've shown me that before.
That one. He's funny.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I was going to ask you. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. I saw a story.
Mm-hmm.
Just actually, it was a video actually today. They were talking about hypnosis and. Oh, that's really weird because the show I was watching today talked about hypnosis as well. That's crazy. Wow, what was that?
Karma. I mean, not karma. Fate. Okay.
You look like you had the reins of the horse and you were galloping down the track. No, but seriously, I said that with a straight face.
Did it hurt?
No, not that it necessarily did hurt. I mean, what was the experience?
Just shut up.
I've never.
What are you talking about?
Like, I know you have been hypnotized, right?
Yeah.
I know you went through that process and whatnot. I've never been through that process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you cognitive of what's going on around you when you're under? I mean, can you hear him? Obviously, you can hear him talk or hear whoever's talking to you because they're helping you diagnose or whatever. But I mean, I don't. What do you experience?
I can't talk for. Well, you hear, and I can't. What I'm about to talk about is like therapeutic hypnotherapy. I'm not talking about the Hollywood hyped up stuff. I don't know anything about that, and I think that's pretty much probably a lot of showy. But I was hypnotized by a psychiatrist in New York, and she walked me through it slowly. Basically, when you're hypnotized, you are super relaxed. You are in a super relaxed state. Your mind is quiet. Your mind and your body are one and connected. And, they start you out focusing on your breathing and focusing on feeling every sensation in your body from head to toe. And you focus in on that. And it isn't that you don't hear what's going on around you. It's just that you're so focused on relaxing that you're going through that process and you're not really paying attention. You definitely hear the person who's guiding you, and you can do it to yourself. I mean, you can self-hypnotize and relax yourself. I do it all the time.
Well, isn't
when
that
I'm feeling
meditation?
stress and anxiety. Meditation is a form of hypnosis, frankly. It's an ultra relaxed state of being in your mind. I mean, I think your brain maybe like goes to alpha waves or something. But it's not mystical. You cannot be made to do something that is against your moral, character. Like you can't be hypnotized and somebody can say, go kill somebody. And if you don't have that in you and you wouldn't do that, you're not going to do that.
Right.
You're going to be waking up and you're going to go, what the F is wrong with you? Why would the hell would you say that, fool? Basically, I use self-hypnosis a lot to fall asleep. And in the process, I try to give myself some positive, reinforcing words and phrases to carry with me as I drift off, when I'm doing it. But it's really, and the worst thing that can happen is the guy who hypnotizes you puts you deeply, you have gotten yourself deeply into a hypnotic state, and he croaks. You're not screwed. You'll just fall asleep, and then you'll wake up, and you'll be all right. You know what I mean? I've heard people say, oh my God, what if my hypnotherapist has a heart attack and dies while I'm under? I'm screwed. I'm going to be a vegetable for the rest of my life. No, you're not. You're going to fall asleep, and then you'll wake up. And you'll feel really good and refreshed until you find out your hypnotherapist died.
Right.
While you're asleep.
That was Office Space.
What?
Where his therapy guy passed away and he is still under whatever the... Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
Now, I think hypnosis, it can be a good tool, psychologically speaking, when done by a psychiatrist, and they know what they're doing, to help people. Like, I think that it helped me when I was hypnotized to quit smoking, and I haven't had a cigarette for 15 years.
Yeah.
I think it can help you with weight loss. I think it can help you to deal with anxiety and stress and help keep you calm. But as a tool for like UFO experiencers, people who think they've been abducted and all that, I'm not so sure that it's that great of a tool or something that should be leaned on so heavily for evidence. Because there's so many people out there doing hypnotherapy or hypnosis right now that aren't psychiatrists, or at least aren't trained correctly by psychiatrists. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you really don't want to be doing hypnotherapy with somebody that has a serious mental illness. And sometimes untrained individuals don't recognize serious mental illness in somebody. And in that particular case, I think it can do more harm than good. And as far as memories go, trying to retrieve memories, it's so very easy to inadvertently contaminate somebody's subconscious when you're in an ultra relaxed.
Is our call going to drop? Well, if there's not any technical problems, then of course it's going to not be a good show, right? Right. That's funny. So let me get Deb back on the line with us here. Yeah. Skype seems to be having a little bit of problems this evening. Well, damn Sam. So yeah, anyway, like I was saying, there's just that question of hypnosis, like what are you feeling and how are you, what kind of mindset are you in? Are you that relaxed that that's what's actually happening, is that you are digressing in your memory? So I don't know. It's just one of those questions that I wanted to ask Deb as I try to get her back on the line here. That was really kind of on my mind today, because I saw that like 2 or 3 different times. And
Hello.
hi, welcome back.
What the H happened?
Skype is a big douchebag.
Bastards.
I know, right?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, hey. So where did I get chomped off at?
I'm not really quite sure because I started talking, so there wouldn't be dead air.
Oh, hell, Jesus.
I can play back the audio though.
No, don't. I don't want to hear myself. Stop that. So anyhow, okay, let me just say this. If you're going to, I think hypnosis has a time and a place, and it's useful.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as UFO abduction experiencers go, I'm not sure how useful it is unless it's done by a licensed psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
Because too many people are out there doing it that don't know what they're doing, and you don't want to mess with. You certainly don't want to try to hypnotize, relax somebody that is a serious mental illness, and an untrained individual may not recognize somebody that has a serious mental illness.
Right. So,
And also, you have to conduct it in a certain way and be very, very careful about what you say and not be leading. And
right.
And a lot of times that does happen. And
Mm-hmm.
while I have been hypnotized several times by psychiatrists or psychologists, also by Bud, who was not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but he was guided by Dr. Aphrodite Clemar. So he was, I don't even have my audio tapes anymore, and I think that maybe his ex-wife may have destroyed everything when he died.
Yeah.
But almost, I would say, probably 90% or more of what I'll remember from all my experiences was natural memory and not retrieved under hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, I would try to steer clear of that if I was somebody in my position now.
Right.
Unless I found a psychiatrist, actual doctor or psychiatrist,
Mm-hmm.
or a minimal psychologist. So, but hypnotherapy, being hypnotized is not what people think it is. It's not scary, and you're not going to die, and you're not going to rob a bank or dance like a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really very super relaxed state of mind,
Mm-hmm.
and it may be difficult if you're really wrapped tight and full of anxiety, to be hypnotized at all. It may take some work and training on your part to breathe,
Right.
and learn to relax.
Right. Yeah, and, I've always heard that, people say, well, I can't be hypnotized. It's just not going to happen. I'm not. And they're like the quickest ones to go under, which I'm sure.
Unless you have a verified, bona fide mental illness, which some of them can't be hypnotized,
Mm-hmm.
you can be hypnotized if you want to be.
Right.
If you don't want to be, you're not going to be, because you're the one that does it.
Right.
The person who's leading you is just your guide. You're the one who hypnotizes yourself. So if you don't think you can or don't want to, you won't.
Right.
That's as simple as that. Yeah.
Well, see, yeah, and then, at that point you ask yourself, well, why waste your time with even being there?
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for, well, I'm a skeptical believer. Prove to me that they're here. Well, I think that I already have because you're on this investigation with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my argument for those guys too. I'm a skeptical believer. I don't know.
Now, skepticism is healthy to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to just swallow the very first things that come along as fact. Investigate it. Always look for the most reasonable explanation.
Right.
When you investigate UFO or paranormal, you always begin with the obvious and rule it out.
Mm-hmm.
as you chip away at that stone and rule out everything prosaic. When you can no longer find any answers, then you may have something on your hands that might be the real deal.
Right. When I'm talking about those asshats that they talk shit the entire time that they're there. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Blah, blah, blah. Why are you even here wasting my time, dude?
Yeah, and the first time they hear a door bang, they all run and scream like a bunch of pussies out the door. Oh!
That, my friends, is why we can't have a show on TV.
I'm sorry. We could have a show on TV. You could say pussy on HBO and stuff.
Well, I don't
They
know.
could beat me out. Shoot.
I don't know that HBO will pick us up, but you know, we
I don't
go.
know.
Skinemax might. I don't know.
Who? Who?
Skinemax.
You stupid. Shut up. You're
But yeah, you know,
Really?
that
I
just
can't take you no more. What the hell?
I know, right? I'm just, you know, can't take me anywhere. But yeah, you know, it just kind of hit me today. I was sitting here thinking, it's like, I know we were going to do a show tonight, and I knew that you had some experience with hypnosis, and I was like, you know, what kind of state of mind? You know,
Relax.
it's just kind of.
Oh.
Well, and then you said that too, and then it hit me with meditation, because I watched a bunch of videos today, and it's a long story, and we'll talk about it off air. But I watched a bunch of videos today that were talking about meditation and whatnot. And let me be the first to say that.
Shut up. I'm already going to tell you to shut up. I already know.
Let me be very gentle with how I say this, because it's not all of the New Age people, but some of the New Age people that I watched today are so entirely full of BS that I could hardly stand it. I'm like, I want to find your website and I want to pick your ass apart for the stupid crap that you are putting in these videos that people are watching and going, oh, yeah, that's no.
Right.
No.
I agree. There's some wackadoos.
Right? And I'm like, and they all talk like this, and they're very wispy in their foot. I'm like, dude, I just want to shoot you in the freaking face. You know? I mean, come on. The lady's wearing a freaking turban with a little turban jewel in it, and she starts, and wait till you see this video. She starts with her hands like up at her chest, and she's going, so she's breathing real hard like that, and she's pumping her hands in front of her chest. This is how you do you. I was like, oh my God. Where
Remember
are
when
the
I told
reviews?
you about mental illness?
That looked like I might have a tad bit of mental illness.
Oh,
People are going to look at this video and be, what the hell is this guy's problem? Wackadoodle. That's
how come I hear myself?
You like a what?
I'm echoing back, and it's annoying me.
It's probably Skype, because it's being a little douche nugget tonight.
Skype, behave. Okay, it stopped.
Yeah, right.
It did. I'm serious.
Did it really?
Yes, it did. I'm dead serious. Serious. I
think
am.
You're full of poop. You're full of poop.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange, weird stuff out on the internet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My attitude with that is, and I use the internet to learn a lot, because there's a lot of good information out there, but you gotta sift through the shaft to get to the wheat, and it's just, you go with your gut instinct.
Mm-hmm.
If it looks hokey and doofy, it makes you feel embarrassed for the person, then it's probably not for you.
Right.
Wrong.
Yeah, I was extremely embarrassed for the 2 videos that I saw today. It was like, oh.
I hope nobody ever looks at my browser history and sees this shit. I'd rather have them see porn.
What do you mean? We already know there's 70s porn on your computer.
Not
come
mine,
on.
yours.
Whatever. You can look through my browsing history right now. There is no 70 porn on my computer at all.
It's not on mine either.
You are so full of crap.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I told you I spent the weekend laying around in my pajamas,
Looking
eating
at
whatever
porn.
I wanted to, surfing the internet. and I came across some interesting stuff on my Facebook feed, kind of popped up. I thought we could talk about it for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I wanted to talk about was Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. Van Hagar. Wait, what?
Sammy Hagar.
Right.
Really?
He can't drive 55 because he's in Van Hagar.
Whatever. He was on the Howard Stern show not too long ago, and he offered up about his UFO abduction in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dead serious. And they also talked about
how old was he in 67?
back in 1967. 67.
He had to be under
He said he was about 20 at this time.
67. Really?
Uh-huh.
He is that freaking old? Wow.
He said that he was about 20 years old.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Anyways, let me see if I can find this here. Of course, Howard had to do all the obligatory
Yeah,
asshole Howard stuff that he does.
I'm not a big Stern fan myself.
And Howard, of course, is like, "What are you? Were you smoking dope or drinking?" And
Right.
Sammy said back then he didn't do anything. He wasn't drinking or doing anything at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was lying in bed. He said he felt like he was dreaming that there were these little aliens, a little guy sitting in a ship up on the hill behind us, about 11 miles away. And there's this, he said, I could see that they had something plugged into me. I mean, some wireless thing. I didn't know what it was called. It was like a wireless remote system. And Howard asked him what they looked like. And he said they were just kind of like non-forms. They were just kind of like blobs, like a lot of aliens when you see pictures of them all blurry and fuzzy. And then he said, these guys came and they said, oh, he's waking up. They didn't say shit, but it was all mental telepathy. He said, I felt like I was plugged into something. I've heard that many, many times from many people.
Telepathy versus actual voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he said it was like they were uploading stuff into his head, like it was a computer. He was some kind of experiment. And then they said, oh, he's waking up. We got to end this. And they yelled out some weird numeric code, but not our numeric system. It was something that he said it made a whooping sound, and then it turned off, and he woke up. He said my room was white, and I couldn't see anything at all. And then pow, everything went black. And I laid there in bed shaking so bad. He said, and he said no. And Howard said, it could just be a dream. And he said, no. And it changed my life. How about that? And Howard's like, well, how did it change your life? He said, well, it changed my life in that now I'm interested in aliens. And now I'm looking up in the sky and wondering about this shit. And all of a sudden I became interested in astrology. And of course, Howard starts laughing, and then the interview degrades into Howard,
Stern being a dick.
12-year-old pornographic shit.
Right, from the 70s, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But he insists that it happened. And he also insists that it wasn't his first time that he'd had experience with UFOs. He had a UFO sighting when he was just a small child, about 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. And he really remembers it. He called it the car with no wheels.
No, and we were talking earlier as well that Sammy Hagar was on that Celebrity Haunting, where he was talking about how his father came to him after he passed away, but he didn't know he passed away and whatnot. I've seen him do that a couple times as well. We just lost Deb again. Effing Skype. And what's really interesting about it is that we've always said, Deb and I, when we talk and we've done shows before, that and had guests, and we were talking about UFOs and the paranormal, that there was some kind of correlation that intertwined, those two, I guess, studies in the field that, hold on, let me get Debbie here again. That if you have one experiences of either UFO or the paranormal, chances are, you would have one or the other, and it would correlate. I probably didn't say that right, but I'm doing 5 things at once, so just bear with me. But he's not the only one. I know that Dan Aykroyd, who is a big ufologist, I know he's in MUFON as well, had some UFO encounters. Now, I don't know if it was an abduction. And once we get Deb on, I think she knows. But I do know that he's had paranormal stuff, not just Ghostbuster stuff, but actual, paranormal things happen to him, which just goes to show that, yeah, they kind of touch each other, whether they're one causes the other, which I would believe that the UFO would cause the paranormal, because that's kind of how the stories go. The stories that I've heard myself, anyway. But yeah, it's quite the interesting stuff, and I can't believe Sammy Hagar is that old. I bet you he looked at 70s porn. I'm just saying. Yeah, so. Let me get her. Still trying to get her back on.
You know?
Hey, you're back.
What the actual...
It's Skype. It's Skype, I tell ya.
What the hell? Are you living in the boondocks?
No, my internet hasn't dropped at all.
Neither's mine. I wonder who's screwing with us.
I don't know.
Okay, Skype, stop.
Yeah.
Bastards.
I don't know if it might be... Did you have to do an update for Skype? You might have to do an update.
I did one just the other day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they got some bugs going on with it.
They need to get their ducks in a row, people.
I've heard someone talk about, like, Google has a Google Voice. Have you heard about that?
Uh-uh.
I think I'm going to look into it this week and see if I can figure
Yeah,
out
'cause
something that's a better alternative than Skype.
This crap.
I agree. As long as it has camera,
Yeah.
then I think we'll be good to go.
Right.
But yeah, I was telling people that'll be checking us out here on YouTube, Ustream, and on the Podomatic page. That it seems to be this isn't the first time that a story has gone kind of in this fashion, where they whomever it is has a UFO experience, and then later on has paranormal experiences.
Right. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I myself am I'm a perfect example of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that, I don't know, there's a connection somehow.
And that's what I was telling him. And it seems like it always goes in order, though, like UFO, then paranormal. I've heard over the years of doing the show how people have had UFO experiences prior to even getting into having actual ghost experiences, which I find interesting. That I very rarely hear it the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that it's not happened. And again, if you guys have those stories, send it to us, staffnpr@gmail.com, and let us know, and let us kind of explore that. Maybe we can have you on the show and talk about it.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to come on the show, just
Yeah.
write us and tell us your story. We'll read it on the air.
That's right.
And share it with other people.
That's right.
Yeah, we can do that.
Damn.
I can read. Word.
Awkward.
But seriously, I wonder sometimes, is it that the act of the UFO interaction triggers something in us, or opens something up in us that opens us up to paranormal activity, or were we already opened up to paranormal activity and therefore became attractive to the UFO stuff? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
a beacon in the dark.
Yeah.
Because I've always said I'm the antenna. I'm the magnet for the EVP stuff. It's almost like, and a friend of mine one time said that people like me and him, he was the same way, are like bug zappers in the middle of a dark forest. We're bright light, that things out there that we can't see, but they can see us,
Mm-hmm.
and we attract them. We pull them to us with this bright light.
I don't know. And well, see, the thing is, I mean, I've had paranormal experiences. I mean, there's no disputing that. And for you people out there, there's like, oh yeah, sure there is. Blah blah blah. No, seriously. I mean, I've seen things and I've heard things, and Deb and I have seen things together and experienced things like that together. But would one, and this is, I'm not talking about me necessarily, but having just one set of experiences, would one have I mean, the paranormal stuff you kind of know about because everything is either tangible visibly or audible. But what about like UFO experiences? I mean, is there a possibility that people actually, have no idea that, okay, hey, I've been contacted, I've had some sort of contact that maybe kind of sparked that energy flow to be able to be, cognitive of the paranormal?
Maybe you have.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never, I can't say, I mean, I've seen weird things, but I always chalked it up to being paranormal and ghosts. But not just me, I mean, there's got to be, I don't know, something. There's something that ties it all together. I just haven't found it yet.
The only common denominator I've found so far with that connection between paranormal and UFO has been the actual experiencer themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only common denominator. I mean, and we all seem to be similar in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
We think about things the same way. We seem to be wired somewhat similar.
Right.
In all the 30 years that I've been meeting people, I can say that with pretty good honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Or, another thing I wanted to talk about was this U.S. patent I saw that popped up on my feed. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's a connection between this stuff. I mean, if the United States government has patented a system, nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors, it's U.S. patent number 6506148B2. I mean, come on now. What the hell are they going to use that stuff for? Okay. Now, and if their research says that this is even possible, physiological effects have been observed in human subjects in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields that are pulsed with certain frequencies near the half hertz or the 2.4 hertz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displayed pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitude to cause such excitation.
So
Therefore, it's possible to manipulate the nervous system of a human subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. I mean, is that not fodder for the paranoid?
Right. That,
you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's actually a real U.S. government patent.
Right. Now, I wonder, the frequency is piggybacking on the frequency set by the monitors of the TV screens?
Yeah, it's using the frequency of the TV screen. Hopefully that a lot of monitors and TV screens use these certain frequencies, which they say they do.
Well, most monitors run at about a 60 megahertz refresh rate.
And it says, it is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. For the later, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material or may be overlaid by modulating a video stream either as an RF signal or as a video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonance in nearby subjects may be generated even as the display images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. This was a U.S. patent application that was filed on June 1st, 2001. So
right now, when everybody is looking at their computer screen,
and they're all going,
right, you're getting subliminal images being pulsed out at you that you don't realize.
But the thing is, my point with this whole thing is, okay, so this might be able to really happen. Mm-hmm. If we are that sensitive to electromagnetic pulses, we already know that the other realms, the spirit dimension or whatever, use electromagnetic energy to communicate, right? We, because we've recorded it with our monitors, our meters and things.
Right.
We also know, we suspect that some alien technology uses electromagnetic fields and maybe produces them in their propulsion system as well. I mean, how do we know that this doesn't play into some of this stuff that goes on with abduction things? I personally wonder if, like, some abductions people think are physical really are something else. Maybe something that's being pumped into them via electromagnetic stimulation from an outside source. And they think it's something, but it's not what we think it is. Or it's not coming from who we think it's coming from. It's coming, whoever's doing this wants us to think that it's coming from a certain source, but it's coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, theoretically speaking, I mean, look at all the electronics that everyone has around them all the time. Your monitors, your computer, your cell phones, your headphones, your MP3 players, which is basically everyone to their phone anyway. I like the small MP3 player myself. A multitude.
There's I'm sure we can dig up some other patents for some weapons that use electromagnetic field pulses to stun people.
Yeah.
I think I've read where there's already stuff like that's made.
Oh yeah, I imagine there's EMPs being used all the time that we just.
Technically, you could blast an entire country with a big giant EMP blast and totally booger them up for quite a while.
Right.
Make all the people go crazy and screw up all the banks and everything. So that'd be exciting.
That sounds familiar a little bit. That's
like when I want to get on a rocket ship and go to another planet because I'm done with this shit.
Right. I saw. I saw a comparison chart. Like they were comparing the size of the Earth to the other planets in the solar system and the sun, and what Andromeda would look like if it was brighter in the sky. And I mean, it looks like something straight out of like a Star Wars Starscape kind of image. And it's pretty phenomenal. If I can find the link, I'll get it to you. But I mean, it's pretty interesting actually. I mean, the size of the sun compared to the rest of the planets, and then how little Earth is itself.
Yeah.
Compared to Saturn and Jupiter, and it was pretty interesting. They had a side segment about Pluto and all of that. So pretty interesting stuff actually. And hopefully when we're down in Florida, maybe one time if they ever fire off another rocket or whatever, we can slide on over to the Cape and see fire on up in the sky.
How about
from Florida?
Florida.
Right. So yeah, interesting stuff. It's still kind of, man, I wish that we had the resources to get Sammy Hagar on here and talk about that.
I know, that would be so cool, and Skype would sure bug us up.
Yeah, we would have to do something different with that. I mean, it would
we have to get more professional before we get somebody on there like that. But,
when you hit the lottery and buy the radio station,
I am. I got my ticket.
We'll hook that right up. We'll get Sammy Hagar on and we'll talk about UFOs and
Robbie Robertson over in England. He's another one that's really interested in UFOs and has had experiences that he's talked publicly about. You know who I'm talking about? He's a musician.
No.
Robbie, Google him. His name's Robbie Robertson. He's real famous in England.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
I'll Google him.
Google him.
Great googly moogly.
Yeah. And I want to quickly mention that I saw Hillary Clinton on Jimmy Kimmel. And she talked with him about UFOs. Back in the day, her husband said that he would find, if he would look into the whole UFOs and Project Blue Book thing, if he got to be president, and if there was anything to it, he would let us know. And of course, nobody ever said anything,
Well, it's because they shot him down.
Jimmy asked her about that, and she said, he said, so apparently he didn't find anything, and she said, well, and she got that look on her face,
Right, yeah.
And then she's like, well, And then she skipped over that. She never really said, but then she said she would look into it if she were president, and that she really does believe that if there is something to it or there is information about it, that unless they can prove to her that is a matter of national security, then she thinks that everybody in the world should have this information, and she would do whatever she could to make sure that it got out.
Well, she could send everyone emails.
I'll take an email.
You know, and
it'll be on a public server so anybody can see it.
Right. Well, hey, Bill might have mentioned it, but I mean, there have been presidents that actually, or ex-presidents that actually came out and said, yes, there are UFOs.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jimmy Carter filed his own. He filed a report with CUFOS. Jimmy Carter did back in the day. He believes that. He believes that he saw something extraordinary.
Was it, who was it way back in the day? Like Roosevelt? Or, I know Kennedy said something about it.
I don't know, Brian. I know Reagan did. Reagan made a comment about, during his talk about Star Wars, not the movie, the satellite stuff. Hey, Yahtzee. He said, what if all of a sudden the planet was suddenly faced with an intruder from outer space, and we were all together as the human race in danger and had to pull together as one and fight against this, and that made headlines all over the world, and that was a big deal when he said that.
What do
they thought a lot of people speculated that was his way of trying to say, we are not alone, people.
Right. What do you
get
think?
Your priorities in order.
Do you think that he was trying to hint, or you think he was just trying to...
Some people think he was. I don't really know. I mean, what he said was perfectly logical. I mean, it made sense, but I don't know if he was trying to tell us something or not.
My honest opinion would be that they would come and look for an invasion and realize how screwed up everything is here and how screwed up everybody is, and then just go on about their merry way.
You know what? Only in the interest of science would anybody even get close to us, because frankly, I think that as a species, we are a dangerous bunch of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Look at the shit we do to each other.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what we would do to something we didn't know anything about, didn't understand, and were afraid of? Because when human beings are faced with things like that, they tend to attack.
Freak out.
They freak out. They lash out.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying, the world just seems to get worse and worse. I keep saying, I must be an alien. I don't belong here. I cannot wrap my head around the way we treat each other and this planet and our home. This is the only one we've got. And look what we're doing to it. I must have lost a drinking bet somewhere, because I can't imagine I would have come here on purpose. Somebody tell me why.
You lost that
drinking bet. Bitches, come back and get me. How dare you leave me in this shithole.
Right.
These people are crazy. Save me.
Right. Crazy.
Oh,
there is a lot of crazy, it's just...
But, I have to keep reminding myself there's a lot of beauty in the world, too. There are things about us that are worth saving. But we need help. Serious help.
I'm pointing to myself in the camera.
I hope my words float out into space and somebody out there hears says, help the human race before we kill ourselves, because we're a bunch of idiots. Help, help, help.
Because we're crazy.
We cry.
Right. All right, well, check this out. We are at the top of the hour. And for this Monday edition of Infrared Radio,
Boom.
I think we're going to have some different weird news stuff for you guys every week. And like I said, if you've got any comments, questions, or whatnot, even through the YouTube or the Ustream, and you want to get a hold of us, staffnpr@gmail.com and wpgpradio@gmail.com. And we'll answer your questions and whatnot. And if you find cool articles that you would like to share, go ahead and do that as well. So, all right. Well, we will be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on WPGP Radio. PGP Radio, I can't give that URL yet. I'm just rattling it off, and it's like, oh, wait, not yet. but it's the long one. But you guys can see us here on YouTube and Ustream and on the pod page and all that good junk. So.
Yep. We'll get this website up and rolling here soon.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's not like anybody's been, busy. We've been crazy busy.
I know. I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're still doing all good and getting all healed up and junk, and
I'm healing up slowly but surely. Yes, I actually worked like 10 hours of overtime last week.
Damn.
I know. I didn't really want to, but hey,
yeah, money talks, bullshit walks.
That's right, dude.
Right. All right, you guys, come back, check us out next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
You've been listening to Infrared Radio here on the PGP Radio Network. Join Deb and Gregg every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, WPGP Digital Radio, Augusta, Georgia.
Oh no, I just keep on falling back to the same road, and where's hope? The misery comes crawling. Oh, my way, with your faith, you'll trigger a landslide. You kill off this common sense of mine. It takes acquired minds to taste this